In today's video, thanks to the Home Depot Seeds program, we're going to be looking at the Duracell 700 lumen LED flashlight. It allows you to focus the beam. It has 3 operating modes: high, low, and strobe. Runs on 4 AA batteries. Now, I already have LED flashlights. This one's 650 lumens. It has a low, it has a high. It has a ring that you can focus the beam with. This one is 1400 lumens and also has a high, a low, and a ring that you can focus the beam with. The problem that both of these have is that if you put them on an uneven surface, they just tend to roll, which is annoying, especially if you're trying to work on a project where you need light in a spot like electrical, and it's just not very convenient, which is why I went to a headlamp for that type of work. This one actually gives me a spot, a flood, and a spot and flood, so it's very nice, and of course, it doesn't roll. To get the product out of the blister pack, I suggest running a blade along the battery compartment and the flashlight, and then just splitting it in half, and that'll allow you to get the product out. Inside you get one flashlight, and unfortunately it's round, so it rolls, but you can stand it on its end, which is kind of nice. Multi-language instruction sheet, and 4 AAA alkaline batteries. Things to know about this flashlight: it's IPX4 rated, which means that you can use it out in the rain, but not in your tub. You can drop it, and it should take an impact of 1 meter, about 3 feet. On high, it has a lumen output of 700. On low, 70. At 700, you'll get about 2 hours out of the batteries, whereas at 70, you'll get about 20 hours. Flashlight actually isn't made by Duracell. It's made under license to Infinity X1. To install the batteries, you simply spin off the back cap. It comes off, out drops the holder for the batteries, and then you just insert the 4 AA's in the appropriate positions. Insert it back into the flashlight, put the cap back on, and screw it on. And as you see, this one's already activated. Now, what I'm noticing is that wasn't so smooth getting on. Some of them, the threads are really nice, and others not so. Now, if you tighten it all the way, the O-ring makes a seal, and it is now water resistant. This is the wide beam. Let's see if I turn. Oh, actually it's not a turn. You pull to spot, pull back to flood out, push it forward to get a nice tight spot. If we click on the back, it goes off. Click again, you get the strobe, high beam, and then low beam. Due to the intensity of the beam, it's not advised that you shine this in someone's eyes, as permanent eye damage can occur. Fit-wise, it fits in the palm of your hands. It's nice that you don't have to turn the ring to go from spot to flood. I like the fact that you can stand it up. That way you can bounce the light onto the ceiling and light up a room. It doesn't have a spot for like a lanyard or a wrist strap on the end, and that's a shame. And it also, like I said earlier, it rolls. So, the funny part is that there's flat spots on here, and had they not put that base there, it would stop rolling, which would be more of a convenience. So now all we have left to do is checking the beams of these 2 flashlights up against something in the dark so we can see how good the spread is. With fresh batteries in both flashlights, the Duracell and the Coast, we turn on the Duracell. This is the high beam. Notice the ring is pretty smooth, no sharp focal point at the other end. We switch that off. The coast also does not have a sharp hot light in the center, kind of soft on the edges. We go to soft mode. You see that there's a little bit of ring light coming off, sort of like a halo. Soft on the coast. Not so much with the halo. About equal brightness. Now, the coast doesn't have a strobe like this one does. With the Duracell set to a narrow beam, this is the light that we get. And that's in high mode. Here we are in low mode. Now we compare that to the coast. This is the focus beam on high and focus beam on low. Here's a side-by-side with the beam set to high and focused. And now here's side-by-side with the beam set to high but wide mode. Another advantage of being able to put this flashlight on its tail cap is that you can bounce the light off the ceiling to light a room. And our final test, again, the Duracell is on the left. This is just about 1 meter away from the wall, just to show you what the beam looks like. On the competition, it's actually smooth around a hot center. Here, this actually looks more like the LED chip, and then we have some rings of lights around it. So while this one is a lot brighter at the wide point, you know, the difference of about 50 lumens is a bit dramatic for this flashlight, whereas this one seems softer, but the edge is more defined on the Duracell, where on this flashlight, it's just kind of a soft edge. My impression of this Duracell flashlight is that it's not a bad flashlight. You know, it's lightweight, you can push and change the focal length of the lens. It can stand up on its end. All the 3 modes are accessible via the back, and there's an off in between each of the modes. And it has what could be potentially a handy strobe feature. On the downside, no lanyard. It'll roll if you lay it on a sloping surface. It does get a bit warm to the touch, especially if you leave it in the high mode. When you leave it on its face and it's on, you can see that the light is on, versus something like this where when you put it down, you may think it's off and you may run down your battery. So that's, even if it wasn't meant as a feature, it's a nice thing to have. So overall, I'm happy with the flashlight. Don't have any qualms with recommending it to others. I just wish it wouldn't roll, but other than that, it's a nice bright flashlight. And this one, the difference is 50 lumens. This one has the 50 lumens more at 700, and it actually shows when you use it. If you found this video interesting or useful, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, join the subscription team, and as always, thank you ever so much for watching.